Call this meeting to order. This is a special board meeting of the Kirkwood Meadows Public Utility District for September 30th, 2021. It is 1 p.m. May we have the roll call, Peter?
Sure. Rickert?
Here.
Epstein? Not yet. Schroeder?
Here.
Barreau?
Yeah.
Thornburg here. 4 out of 5.
Okay, great. I think the next is any announcements, Rick?
Just that I would like to welcome everyone to our special board meeting. All votes will be taken via roll call.
Okay. And this is a special board meeting, so it's very focused on the one item on the agenda. So this is item 4A, resolution 21-12, proclaiming a local emergency and authorizing remote public meetings. Rick.
Eric, would you like me to share my screen to have the resolution up on the screen?
I think that would be excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Jess.
Sure. Okay, can you all see that?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Should be a staff report there. Okay.
Good. So after discussing this matter with district council, I'm going to essentially read this report, and I apologize that it's so dry, but I want to make sure I hit all the elements properly. So during the COVID-19 public health emergency, the governor issued executive orders N29-20 and N-08-21, suspending most of the teleconferencing requirements through September 30th, 2021. In response, local agency boards widely used audio and video teleconferencing, for example, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and GoToMeetings, to conduct public meetings in lieu of in-person meetings at a physical location. On September 20th, 2021, the governor issued Executive Order N12-21, clarifying that the teleconferencing requirements of previous Executive Order N-08-21 apply through September 30th, and the provisions of AB 361 became effective October 1st, 2021. In sum, after October 1st, 2021, the Browns Act's pre-COVID teleconference requirements outlined above, that I just mentioned, apply again, except as modified by AB 361. Under AB 361, local agency boards may conduct meetings by teleconference subject to modified rules during a state of emergency when either 1, social distancing measures are required or recommended by state or local officials, or 2, the governing body determines meeting in person would present imminent risk to health of the safety of the attendees. So in light of the governor's declaration, the state of emergency exists due to the incidence and spread of the novel coronavirus and the pandemic caused by the resulting disease COVID-19. The board should consider whether meeting in person would present imminent risk to the health and safety of meeting attendees. The Centers for Disease Control indicates that COVID-19 is highly transmittable virus that is spread when an infected person breathes out droplets of very small particles that contain the virus. And such droplets and particles are breathed by other people. Although effective vaccines have been approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for emergency use, vaccine rates are slow and have not yet reached to a point of significantly control the community transmission. As of September 27, 2021, only 70% of Californians who are eligible to be vaccinated are fully vaccinated. Those who become infected with COVID-19 are at risk for serious illness or death. As of September 27, 2021, over 688,650 Americans have died from the virus. Many more have been hospitalized with serious illness. Currently in Alpine County or Amador County, 11 people are hospitalized with COVID-19 And then currently in Alpine County, one person is hospitalized with COVID-19. Conducting meetings by teleconference would directly reduce the risk of transmission among meeting attendees, including members of the public and agency staff, which has an ancillary effect of reducing the risk of serious illness and death, as well as reducing community spread of the virus. So with that staff report, I open it up for any board discussion. And then I have a motion that has been provided by district council that I'd like to provide to the board if they decide to move forward with passing resolution
Okay, Rick.
21-12.
Okay, Rick, thanks. Are there any questions for Rick?
Yeah, Peter, I have some questions. If I understand what I've read, we're going to extend it for 1 month. Is that correct?
That is
Just-
correct.
I actually think it might only be until October 9th, isn't it, Rick? We would have to reconsider this. Or is
We'll
it for
have to
30 days?
reconsider this for every month, and then ultimately this would expire on, I think it's January 1st of 2022.
Yeah, but
This-
I mean, if what we pass now would only be good through October, right? And so
Yes,
we would have to have another special meeting to address November.
Yes, sir.
So my question is would we reconsider this on October 9th to see us through the next board meeting if that's what the choice was?
From what I understand, you can skip, you can go through October 30th, and then October, if this expires by the time the next board meeting comes around, you will just go ahead and reauthorize this, and we won't have to hold another special meeting
How do we reauthorize?
with basically what we're doing right now. You just basically go through everything again and then reaffirm that COVID it presents a risk to the public, and then this resolution will be in place for the next board meeting.
So the question is, can we do that at the regular board meeting in October?
The answer is yes, it has to be the first agenda item, but you have to bring it back as the first agenda item until January 2022.
Yes. Okay. That's what we'll do then on October 9th,
Okay.
so that we can decide what to do there. Okay.
All right.
So,
I could make some comments. I really think we're going in the wrong direction here. I think we should be opening up the district rather than closing it, especially when you consider that we're going to have the first contested election in a decade on November 2nd. I mean, I'm okay with with having another meeting over Zoom. What I'm not okay with is that the community services building is under lock and key. And I think we need to open it up so that people who want to come in and vote and drop off their ballot, give it physically to Jesse, can do so. I also think that it's imperative that in the upcoming newsletter that we explain to people, because there's a lot of new timers here in the Valley, how, when, and where they can vote, what their options are. If the board agrees to open up the building, I'm okay with extending this for another month. Otherwise, I'm not.
Just to clarify, Peter, that the office is open. You have to ring the bell. Staff will come down and actually meet you and gather your bill, your information, whatever it might be. It's just they're not authorized to come upstairs and visit at the counter, so to speak. But we are open for business, and we do meet with clients, customers, vendors on a daily basis.
I just think it's time to open up the building. I really do.
Also, to clarify, I cannot accept people's ballots. They have to be submitted to the Alpine County Clerk.
Okay, that's the first I've heard that. And that's why it's really imperative that we get the rules on the table as soon as possible so people know. Because I thought we could vote here in Kirkwood.
All voting is done in Alpine County is done by mail. So you should receive, and it'll come out shortly before the November 2nd ballot. You should, if you're a registered voter, you should receive a ballot in your mailbox.
So the other thing that disturbs me is I watched the news today, and the Postmaster General of the United States says that he's going to deliberately delay mail to save money. So I'm looking at our little election. I know we're just small potatoes, but I really want to get as many people to vote as possible that are able to, and enable them. Having a meeting on Zoom is no big deal. But having everybody who wants to vote and is legally able to vote is a big deal for us, I think.
My comment here would be, I thought we could not vote in person, both in Amador, in Kirkwood, basically. So, and I was not aware that in the past there was ballot box that people could come to drop ballots. So if that's not the case, I always have voted by mail myself, but I was not aware there were other avenues.
The only place to vote in person in Alpine County is actually physically at the Alpine County Clerk's office. She does set up a little voting booth in her office, so you could go physically vote there. And as far as dropping off ballots, that's the only place in the county to drop them is at the Alpine County Clerk's office in Markleeville.
Well, so that should, we can help out by putting that in the newsletter, our next newsletter. Let's see, John, any comments?
Yeah, I think we got two separate topics here, and I agree that we should communicate in the newsletter on how to cast your vote. My understanding always was that it was a mail-in only, with the exception of going to the county office. On the COVID, it's kind of funny. Personally, I am not that concerned about COVID. I think all of us are vaccinated and things like that. But I do have my second grandchild that's coming any day now. And my daughter is much more concerned about giving COVID either to my first grandchild, who's a year old, or my soon to be born grandchild. So we're kind of back to pretty restricted social distancing and things like that, just in support of that, because as soon as she calls and says, hey, I'm going into labor, we're going to end up with a 1-year-old for like a week. And we, really don't want to create an exposure there. So I'm kind of on both sides of the fence. Personally, right now, I would feel comfortable with international travel and all sorts of things if there wasn't the new grandchild on the way. On the other hand, we've got an obligation for the next couple of months to be around to help out. And, most of that's kind of a big life event. So it takes a big priority. So I'd like to continue with the virtual meeting for a couple more months.
Can I make a comment as well?
Yes, Kelly, go ahead.
Just on John's same lines there, we have several staff members with small children and with children on the way. So I personally feel the same way that John does regarding children and staff members with babies on the way.
So in sum, I think that, we all know that COVID is still around. There are people who feel particularly at risk, either for themselves or for children. There are also people who are around children who aren't vaccinated, who could unknowingly have the virus and spread it. We are going to reconsider this on October 9th. The voting and the opening up of the building is something of a separate topic, but certainly we should have the voting information in the newsletter as a help to the community. And I think that on October 9th, we could also discuss, I will talk to Eric about this when he returns, discuss the opening of the office that Peter is suggesting. I think that as soon as we can open things up in a healthy way, we should absolutely do that. And I also want to be sure that we have this thing set up in the conference room so that we can do the combination Zoom in person, because really with the Zoom, we've had more participation than we've had in years in our board meetings. And I'd like that to continue. but it's got to be effective. It has to work. So I guess, Peter, would it be okay if we approve this resolution with the understanding that it'll be on the agenda on October 9th to discuss the broader openings that you're thinking about, so we can really hear from a broader cross-section of people about that.
And I think it's important to remember that if we do have meetings in person, we only need a quorum of 3 directors.
No, that's right. No, that's
I think-
right.
Remember that.
No, that's right. I mean, I personally
Feel comfortable.
am missing the in-person meetings. But you know, I guess we still have to be careful. And I want people to be able to join effectively from a distance. I mean, I'm talking about our public. Again, we've typically now had a dozen people participating in the meetings, whereas before we have maybe 1 or 2. So I think it's a big improvement if we can continue it. So anyway.
So I think the spirit of this law is that we board members are actually accessible, and that's why they want us to be in a public room. And I see some value there, and I totally support Eric's suggestion to try to also accommodate people to, I mean, not board member, anyone else to actually join by Zoom. I don't know about the technical problem we need to solve to make it happen, but I would also support that. But there is this demand that we are accessible, and that's why they want us to be in a room, public access.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as we all feel comfortable doing that, I mean, not just arbitrarily comfortable, but the CDC says, you know, masks inside really aren't necessary anymore, or social distancing isn't necessary anymore. I mean, what I definitely don't want to do is be in person, but everybody with masks on, so you can't even talk and have it understood. And right now, I think we would have to have masks on to be inside in an indoor gathering. So, but I think that this is about, in my view, this is about a 10-day or 9-day period in which we know we can conduct our meeting in October by Zoom, and then we can have a broader discussion on that agenda with regard to opening up the building, and when should we do this? When could we do this? What will be the criteria? I mean, will the criteria be what Dr. Johnson says? Is the criteria what Alpine County does? Is the criteria what the CDC says? Is the criteria some level of COVID in the 2 counties? I mean, I don't know what the criteria should be. I'm not expert enough at that. But we give ourselves some time to develop that agenda item for October 9th, is my thought.
My thought as far as expertise on that is we are not the expert, and we should just follow whatever state entity is doing. And the fact is that the Brown Act exception is expiring today, I think. So meaning that we are expected to be back in public meeting. So I don't think we should, I mean, I have a PhD in microbiology, so I do think that I have some inside knowledge of the topic, but nevertheless, I think we should rely on the official lines. Not.
For example, I know that I just happened to read that the city of Palo Alto is going to continue to use whatever they use in lieu of in-person until November, and then they're hoping to open up in November, just as another example. So I'd rather be on the safe rather than sorry side of things here, and pass this resolution and then reconsider this resolution or a similar resolution on October 9th at our board meeting. So Peter, how does that sound to you?
That's acceptable.
Okay. Bob has not yet joined, huh?
No, I haven't seen him, but in our meeting this morning, he said he'd be here, so something must have come up.
Something must have happened. Okay. Well, anyway, I'd like to entertain a motion for resolution number
2112.
12 to approve a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Kirkwood Meadows Public Utility District ratifying the proclamation of a state of emergency by the governor and authorizing remote teleconference meetings of the Board of Directors of Kirkwood Meadows Public Utility District for the period of September 30th, 2021 through October 30th, 2021 pursuant to Brown Act provisions. And Rick and Jess, do you know if we could add, or is it just automatic that we could reverse ourselves if we felt the desire to do that? Well,
Yes.
no, actually, through October 30th, this would be fine. Is what I'm aiming for is the November meeting, that we should be able to decide whether to continue this for the November meeting or not. That's what I want to, so I guess this wording is okay as it is. So is there a resolution for that? I mean, is there a motion to adopt this resolution?
Let me ask another question. So does this apply only to the board meetings, but also to all the committee meetings?
This applies only to the board meetings. Each committee will have to decide how they want to move forward. But the way committees were ran before pre-COVID was basically all teleconference anyway. And committees don't have the same strict rules about having quorums present in the actual building.
Okay.
So would somebody like to make a motion to adopt number 2112?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to adopt.
2112. Okay, that was John making that motion. Is there a second to that motion? Well, I will second that motion. Peter, roll call.
Sure. Rickert,
Aye.
Epstein, absent. Schroeder,
Aye.
Perot,
Aye.
and Dornberg, aye.
Okay, and this will be another topic on our October 9th meeting, and Jess, keep me honest about that one, okay? If we
sure.
draft the agenda when Eric is back.
He'll be back on Monday and I'll start drafting the agenda right now and just show it to him on Monday.
Okay, that would be great. Okay, I think
Then
that
we have to start with that, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be the very first item. You'll do it before consent.
Yes.
Okay, then we adjourn this meeting to the regular board meeting scheduled for Saturday, October 9th at 8 a.m. Thanks, everybody.
You're good.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks.